Another hot buzz at PIA 2013 is a new group here, the Plexus group. So tell me what's going on, guys.
Well, Plexus Tandem Systems is a joint effort between two brilliant parachute manufacturers that have entered into the tandem market and bringing this new innovative piece of equipment to the community.
Now, since you're involved, and for those that don't know, this is Glenn Bangs. He's been the president of USPA, among other services in our community.
Yeah.
So if you're involved, it's got to have some military background, I think.
No, actually, this is the civilian version of a tandem model that was based on TPDS's system that they were using in the military community in the Far East, and they decided to get into the civilian tandem market with the introduction of this system. It's been about a year and a half in the process of getting into the market.
So this did grow out of some military at some level or another.
Exactly.
The idea is okay.
Exactly.
And George, what's your involvement?
Well, I own the company, and I've developed a few electronic gizmos and gadgets that go into this device. And
You're definitely a tech geek.
well, you know, I'm more involved in the electronic end of it than Glenn is. He's more involved in the functional end of it, and so together we have a pretty complementary effort.
Pretty cool. So show us what's going on. Folks out in the field are looking at this with great interest.
One of the first things that we've done is we've installed in every rig inside, embedded into the RSL, we have a little electronic transmitter device. It's passive in nature. You don't know it's there until you actually have a cutaway. And once you have a cutaway, the transmitter leaves the rig with the RSL and begins to transmit. Here's the transmitter. It's out of the case. You hear the beeping.
That's on that?
This is creating that sound. Now, excuse me, I didn't mean to. Okay, so with this transmission, you can locate a cutaway canopy within 5-10 minutes. You can go walk directly to it. The transmitter will go for 10 days or 2 weeks, and it comes, like I said, it comes with the system. You can't buy it separately. It's just part of it. When you put it back together, the transmitter packs into the rig in a magnetic environment, and the transmission ceases. The receivers are available for sale either by us or by your local Radio Shack or by eBay or wherever you find a receiver that'll receive 218.055 megahertz. We'll have all that documentation. The other thing that we have built into this rig, which is in development now, is
attention everyone, Joe Kittinger is signing his book in the museum booth.
Is a device that we call the Parachute Deployment Event Counter. We have a patent pending on this device. It's about the size of a room card, credit card. It's sewn into the container system. It's not physically accessible. It doesn't have a wire you plug in. It's all wireless, Bluetooth. Address it with your cell phone, smartphone device. It interrogates the serial number of this rig and reports back the number of jumps that this rig has on it.
Wow.
The way it works is it's based on a couple of different inputs. One is atmospheric change. It basically the battery will last for about 3 years. The card or the device will wake up every 20 minutes and it'll look around and it'll say, has anything changed? Has anything changed? Well, no, nothing changed. Okay, go back to sleep. It checks with the accelerometer and says, have you seen any changes? No changes have happened in the past 20 minutes. Go back to sleep. If it wakes up and sees, wow, wait, I've been moved an elevation of 3 feet or more, or accelerometer, do you see any changes? Yes, we have moved. We better start watching, see what's happening. So now the event rate starts to accelerate. Now we're going to check the environment every minute or so. Accelerometer says, I feel we're going up. Barometric says, yep, I feel we're going up. Let's step up the pace. Now we're going to check it till we get to jump altitude and go, hey, we could jump from here. Accelerometer says, I'm ready. I'm looking for a deployment signature. Barometric says, yep, I'm looking for a deployment signature. They go into rapid rate. When they see that deployment signature, they go, okay, log one event, and they go down. So if you move the rig and you drop it or you move it, accelerometer says, I've been dropped, I've been moved. Have we made a jump? Barometric says, no, don't log it. So anyway, that's built into the rig. That is in development now. We expect that will be on the market in about the fall of this year. And It's going to be an absolutely magnificent piece of technology. That's just another way that we refine our tagline, or that we describe our tagline of refined tandem technology.
Boy, there's an awful lot of tech in that container there. So we understand the tech, the electronics. I'm just dying to hear about the functionality. I hear you got some really cool stuff going on there.
Yeah, I'd talk a little bit about that. What we have to, first off, to prevent a inadvertent main container opening is we have a hesitator loop, which is completely separate from our closing system, which is controlled by the ripcord. So while it's under load, if we end up somehow getting our ripcord dislodged, the load is borne by the 3-ring attaching point, which is through the center of the container and distributed through the jumper and the passenger up front, but your container still remains shut. So you don't have to concern yourself so much with a canopy opening at 14,000 feet right after opening. Still has the ability to remain closed. We have a 1-cable single loop system where both handles are operated off the same cable. So the main's located over here, short distance to travel, 6 inches, and it's deployed. And on the alternate or left side, we have a handle that's attached to the ripcord housing itself. So if the instructor decides to pull this side,
looks like the whole ripcord comes, or the whole housing comes out then.
He pulls the housing, and as he's pulling the housing, he is pulling the cable.
Gotcha.
So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to offer this as an item when we sell you this rig, because sooner or later we know someone's going to forget to hang on to it. A couple other things we're going to offer are field replaceable leg pads that are lined with ballistic cloth. Based on your environment and how the harshness of your landing area, this is probably going to be a high wear area for a lot of tandem operations. So rather than bring your system offline, have to take it to the loft and cut and sew your leg straps on, just pop the snap, which is located on the pad itself, right above the junction of the main lift web and the leg strap. Thread your leg strap through it, slide it off, slide it on, put it back into place, and you're right back in the air within a short amount of time. Now, one of the biggest features we have to offer is our MARD, the Main Assisted Reserve Deployment. Very, very simple device, which, again, taking with the idea of refined tandem technology. If you have a cutaway, this is attached to the left main riser, and as this pulls away, as George already talked about, the FIDO system, that's already activated.
Right.
If you need to just pull your reserve straight out, and you're free. So the only moving parts, a straight pin, a loop, and a small ring, like the small ring on the 3-ring system. So again, a simplified system to make life very simple, not only for the user, but also for the drop zone operator.
Now, I'm seeing where this sets. It's sitting a little farther forward. That looks familiar.
It does look familiar. The big difference what we have here is the way it is attached to the inside and the bottom of the container. It distributes the load evenly across the instructor and the student up front. And if you look at the photograph right here, how flat that containers look, just looked like a big sport rig. So functionality and appearance was a big consideration when we brought this to market.
A little more comfortable for that guy that's trying to turn 10 loads a day.
Very, very comfortable harness. Very comfortable harness.
Okay. Anything else that we need to know about this? I see you've also got a harness system
All right,
here.
on the student harness right here, we've got a floating shoulder strap configuration. So for your larger or taller students, we have the ability to get this just sized perfectly right, as well as floating leg straps for your students, especially for your smaller students or females. If you have to make the leg straps tighter, you can unlace your leg strap, pull the pad off, cinch it down, and you're back in business.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, I think we've pretty well gone through all that. Is there anything you want to share real quick with folks before we walk away?
This system was designed to be user-friendly and field replaceable. So you don't lose time from your tandem operation to have to send it back to the manufacturer for extensive modifications, cutting, and sewing. You can do a lot of it on the drop zone at home and put it back in service and continue making money hard.
Outstanding. Well, George and Glenn, thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. I'm sure folks are going to be very excited about the Plexus system.
Thank you very much.
Good deal. Thanks for coming by.
How's that for a wrap?